Scream Queen Melissa Barrera stars in a new rom-com horror inspired by a Beauty and the Beast-like premise. So should you go and see it this weekend or pass on it? Let's get started on my review of Your Monster. Let's go. What's going on, all my Flicksters? This is Jacey from Jacey Flicks, and I just got back from watching Your Monster. Before I start my review, please note that this will be a spoiler-free review, just in case you haven't seen it yet, showing in theaters this weekend. Also, please make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell to stay up to date on more movies that I'm reviewing just like this. So Your Monster stars Melissa Barrera, Tommy Dewey, Kayla Foster, Edmund Donovan, and more. Soft-spoken actress Laura Franco's life crumbles. She regains her voice after encountering a terrifying but oddly charming monster living in her closet. When I first watched the trailer for this film, I thought it looked like a cliched premise with a rom-com element that felt familiar but could be fun and entertaining. So naturally, when I went to go watch this movie, I was stoked, especially going into it with Cinemark's Secret Cinema. By the way, thank you Cinemark, and please keep this series going. I was excited to see something in the season of Spooktober with a horror premise, but in the tone of a rom-com. But I also had my worries. Due to the tone being more lighthearted from the trailers and looking more like a fun film, I was afraid it would take itself too seriously in the moments where it didn't need to. I feel like nowadays we get a lot of films where it can't just be a popcorn film. It can't be an entertaining, simplistic film with just the beginning, middle, and end, or just a simple premise. It has to make a statement, or it has to get you thinking. And maybe that's an overflux of A24 films, and a lot of superhero films are starting to become more complex. It just feels like a lot of Hollywood is starting to do this now. And I get it. If you do want to create a film that is more thought-provoking, go ahead and do so. But when I feel like through trailers is supposed to have a simple premise and just be fun and entertaining, why not just be that? So as I started to watch this film, I noticed that, especially in the first act, writer/director Caroline Lindy surprisingly navigates this tricky territory, bringing humor to the drama and portraying Laura and the monster as relatable, with Barrera as a heartbroken woman trying to piece her life back together. It treads a delicate line, managing to balance a light tone despite some heavy subject matter, especially for 3/4 of the film. The story begins with aspiring Broadway star Laura, played by the wonderful Melissa Barrera, and although she does an entertaining job, when she discovers the monster, played by Tommy Dewey, this is when the film picks up with the chemistry lighting up between the two, and Dewey even stealing some scenes while he's at it. Dewey plays a creature reminiscent of a sarcastic modern version of the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. Laura's character is not only trying to get over a breakup, but also rehearsing for a Broadway musical. And it's not really much of a spoiler because that's kind of revealed in the trailers. While the dynamics within the Broadway production and the drama involved offer unpredictable moments, there's a sense that the film could eventually falter because of this, even especially with certain dramatic moments and the way the story starts to play out. So as the film progressed with funny and cathartic moments between Laura and the monster, I thought the movie was going to resolve perfectly. Now, we do get subtle hints of the metaphor in the film about how any person can deal with a breakup, grief, and mourning relationship in a different type of way, hopefully in a healthy one. However, as the film proceeds to reach a resolution, the shock factor is picked over, bringing a fitting conclusion to the story. Man, I wanted to like this movie so much, but the film takes an unexpected turn in its final act. Just when it seems the peak of the drama has arrived, Your Monster introduces a horror element that, though not badly executed, feels kind of out of place. The tonal shift pushes the film into a darker, more intense space than the lighthearted approach it had maintained up until that point. It's almost like throughout most of the film, the audience is taught to believe in a message that the film is trying to portray, only for the ending to yell out, "Oh yeah, I'm a horror film." And that just really conflicted me. So I was confused walking out of this premiere and didn't know what to think until I could finally pinpoint why it was such a mixed bag for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's pretty creative in how it's executed at the end, and even the whole premise, the metaphor involved, etc. But I just felt like it was really out of place. While Barrera and Dewey do an excellent job with their performances, the way the ending unravels with Laura's arc doesn't seem to quite hit the mark with where her character's emotional journey leads her. Though I will preface this, you guys, a happy ending isn't always necessary, but I feel like if it does the story justice, then it will make sense. But I feel like in this case, both characters don't deserve for this story to conclude on such a disjointed note. Now, with all that being said, you guys, I'm gonna give Your Monster 3 flames out of 5 and a mid or fair rating.
Okay.
This film shows more skill in handling the lighter moments, though the darker themes aren't as successful. This results in Coraline Lindy's debut being charming, though somewhat hampered by an uneven execution of its central concept. While Melissa Barrera's portrayal of Laura is filled with anger, the nature of her character doesn't quite align with the film's intended message, with a disappointing and confusing ending. Tommy Dewey is definitely a standout in playing the monster for sure, and had me thoroughly enjoying the romantic aspects and the chemistry between him and Melissa Barrera's character. But ultimately, it falls in the end to a head-scratching ending. Look, I am definitely one for a twist or an ending that I did not expect, but only if it does justice to the plot or even the characters. If you're just gonna give me shock factor, I mean, what's the point? But alright guys, have you seen Your Monster yet, or are you looking forward to seeing it? Let me know in the comments below what you thought of it. Look, I didn't enjoy it too much. I just thought it was okay. It could have been great. I felt like it could have been good. I was excited to give this review, but after seeing it, I was so mixed on it, and it's kind of a disappointment to me, at least. But what's one movie that you watched this year that was nothing like you expected? Let me know in the comments below. Last thing before I do go, you guys, please make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell to stay up to date. My name's Jacey from Jacey Flicks, and until next time, I'm out.